Hello and welcome to this nighttime taste challenge on the shortest day of the year, winter equinox, and the first day of winter, and for 2025, 2026 winter. And it's a little cool, but just slightly, and it should be up to the high 70s today. I have two bourbon products. I have Heaven Hill Old Style Bourbon, which is a sour mash bourbon, aged 3 years, and then charcoal mellowed, charcoal filtered. They don't say mellow, charcoal filtered before bottling. Hold on. I was hoping the kitten, Crybaby, the kitten, would want to stay on the back porch, but unfortunately, no. Why don't you come on up on top of the comic book boxes? Do that for me. Ow, ow, ow. Go up there. Now lay down. That'll be a good idea. Lay down there and let me do this, okay? You've been active. You can rest. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. All right, and this is from Heaven Hill, of course, but it's been rebranded recently, and now it's called Quality House Old Style Bourbon. Same specs. They put it under the Quality House label. Okay, you stay right here. Why don't you relax on my lap? That'll be perfect. Then you can just calm down and relax. Okay. The Heaven Hill brand is now like they're above their premium and above premium bourbons. So they wanted to separate the lower end ones. This is 78%. Get my slippers on because she's gonna bite my feet. 78% corn. $78 corn, 12% rye, and 10% malted barley. So 10% malted barley. That's their standard mash bill they said on their website. That's their traditional mash bill. This is Jeppson's bourbon. It's a blend of straight bourbons from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee, interestingly, aged at least 4 years. So the youngest bourbon in the blend is 4. It's non-chill filtered, and it's coming in at 100 proof. I forgot to put that down. I'll add that right now. It's a strong one. Doesn't say bottled and bond. It just 100 proof. So let me update that right now. Get away from the wires. Get away from the wires. Let's edit this. 80 proof, and this one is 100 proof. It runs about $30 a bottle. My friend David found a deal on it. He gave this to me as a gift. Thank you, David. So stop tearing my sports photos. I got all these photos on the wall of games, and she likes to tear them down. So I got to tape them back if possible. I mean, you really need to calm down, okay? Okay? You're getting out of control. Why don't you scratch this thing? Okay, please stop. Rest right there. You could find it at Rouse's. I've never seen it in my town. Rouse's and Metairie. There is a Rouse's coming to the next parish over. They might carry it. Rouse has a pretty good liquor selection. Prices are not the best. Okay, so pour a little bit of it. It's going to be pretty dark copper. I don't think I will confuse the 80 proof with 100, but I have confused the 80 with the 90s now. 80 proof with 91 proof, so it can be touchy. This is a liter bottle, and I found this liter bottle at a liquor store in Texarkana, Arkansas, for $11.99. Now, Heaven Hill is not expensive to start with, but $11.99 for a liter is cheaper than normal. So they had like 6 bottles lined up, so I figured I'll buy one. It was right up on the checkout area, kind of a special offering. So I said, well, I'm gonna take advantage of this. But if you see it now, it's labeled as Heaven Hill Quality House. I told you to get from behind this monitor and away from the wires. Way down up here. Down, down. So I don't know if the Jeppson's going to justify the price, you know. Yeah, well, actually, interestingly, the Heaven Hill is darker. I thought the blend of straight bourbons would be darker, but it's a little lighter amber. Never know, I guess. I can turn on this lamp, assuming she hasn't destroyed it. Do a screen share real fast. Not a whole lot to look at, but it's something to see. There's the new label. So I have the older label that's similar to the Malort, but they wanted to see, there's the Malort label. I guess they wanted to separate it, make it a more unique, make it a unique label. There's no such unique. You're either unique or you're not. Unique means different from anything else. So there's no such thing as kind of unique. You're either different from everything else or you're not different. But there's the famous Malort, which I've never tried. I've heard horror stories or funny stories about it. But the bourbon has a new label now. Is it from that? And on it, like I said, now it said, told you, get away from it. No. I knew it was going to happen. Get away from the wire. Get away. I'm putting you out. Now I got to see if I can repair it. Guess I'm going to have to buy a new ring lamp so that she can ruin that one, I guess. So there it is. And they have 2 other bourbons. So this is the first one, the 100 proof Indiana, Tennessee blend. And also Indiana, Kentucky, which is down there. There's a 90 proof version, which I've not seen. And there's a single barrel program, and I definitely haven't seen those. But I think you kind of have to order those. Make a special request through the store. Probably be a lot more than $30. All right. Madness. Total madness with this animal. Good morning, Jay and chat. Merry Christmas to all watching. Same to you, Jason. I know how kittens are. I love them. They get into everything. Yeah, she just gets wild like crazy. Now, she'll sit up there for an hour or 2 or longer, sleeping and quiet. or she'll lay on my lap quiet. But when she gets wild, you can't stop her. She won't. She wants to go attack the wires. You see, and it's very bad. And I thought she would go on the back porch and want to look out the screen, maybe at the outside at night stuff. But no, no, she wanted to go crazy. She'll lay down the whole night while I'm sleeping. She'll just stay right next to me, quiet, oh, quiet, 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 not disturbing me. But when I get up, I can hear her running around. She just goes crazy. And like I told her, I said, I should have left you at the car wash, let you terrorize somebody else's home. My friend David was like, put her outside, put her outside. I said, she won't live outside. She'll be killed soon because there's too many coyotes around here. Every cat does come around here. Orangey, Big Fluffy, Blackout. They never lasted too long because they like to go explore it in the woods. And there's a pack of coyotes in the woods, about 20 of them. You can hear them howling at night. My cat, when she was a kitten, used to jump on my head to wake me up. Yeah, this one doesn't really try to wake me up. She kind of knows when I'm getting up, and she just waits, and then the crazy time goes. Then crazy time starts. I bought a bunch of cat toys for her, kitten toys, but she seems to prefer playing with things like electric wires and ripping off my newspaper off the wall. I definitely don't appreciate that. Not getting a lot of aroma here. Just kind of basic corn product, which is making me think it's Heaven Hill. Yeah, but not much here. So aroma, forget it. These two don't have any aroma that's worth mentioning, honestly. Nothing bad. Just a lot of bourbons are like that. Not much on the aroma, but the flavor should be dynamite. Let me get this tape because I'm gonna need to tape the photo to get up on a thing like that and to just start ripping them off the wall, ripping through. And that's why down there you see a lot of stuff's missing because she ripped all of those sports photos off the wall. Football game, action photo. No point to it, just to do it. Just like, oh, look, rip it off the wall. This one has caramel, kind of like caramel corn. Candy corn, vanilla, sugar water. Bourbon tastes like sugar water to me. Doesn't taste like it's 100 proof though. Nice. Is it worth definitely worth $11.99 a liter? Hard to believe. Let's go over here. Yeah, it's strong. I think this seems stronger. The flavor's not that different, but then think about these. 78% corn, 75% corn, 12% rye whiskey, 21% rye whiskey, 10% malted barley, 4% malted barley. So they're constructed with that corn, rye, malted barley, single malt, as they call it in Scotland. Just the percentages are a little different, a little bit different. 12 versus 21, 12 to 21 for the rye. Aging 3 years, 4 years, 3-year aged whiskey, 4-year. Now, interesting thing about a blend of straight bourbons. Remember, with straight bourbon, you can never add coloring or flavoring. Not allowed. But this is the funny part. If it's a blend of straight bourbons, you are allowed to add coloring and flavoring. Natural flavors, can't be artificial flavoring. And you don't have to put it on the bottle. So anytime you see a product that says blend of straight bourbons, it could have coloring and flavoring. I'm not saying it will. I say it's allowed. So you got to think about that. I mean, most people don't care, including me. I mean, I can never detect anything strange except for the George Dickel, which is really odd product, very odd product. Yeah, nice, good, enjoyable, well made. What do you expect, Heaven Hill? Interesting. I had no idea. I guess some will add the caramel coloring. Yeah. Straight bourbon, no coloring or flavoring allowed. Bottled and bond bourbon, which is a type of straight bourbon, same story. If it's just regular bourbon, if it just says bourbon, still can't have coloring and flavoring. Now, but if it's a blended bourbon, there's a class called blended bourbon, coloring and flavoring allowed. If it's a blend of straight bourbons, coloring and flavoring allowed. So there's a lot of little loopholes available for these distillers to get around that, not adding coloring and flavoring in, or you could just sell it as bourbon with natural flavors and caramel color. And I've seen those in the store. It won't say bourbon, it'll say bourbon with natural flavors and caramel color. So they'll say, well, it's not a bourbon, it's a bourbon with natural flavor caramel color. So, but obviously it's going to be in the bourbon section. So there's all kind of little games that you could play. It's almost like the regulations were designed in a way to allow anything to happen. So anything happens. Now in Scotland, their whiskey cannot have flavoring added. I've never seen an exception to that rule, but they can have coloring added to any type. Also in Scotland, they do have flavored whiskey, but it's clearly labeled as like honey flavored whiskey, or like that Buchanan's pineapple flavored. It'll say whiskey with pineapple flavoring. That's allowed. But it can't be like undisclosed, a secret additive. No. All right. So I would say that the taste in these is very similar. The taste is very similar one to the other. So a lot of vanilla, charred oak, not heavily charred, just charred oak. Medium body, dry finish, very sugar watery tasting. So therefore, the Heaven Hill automatically wins, right? It wins by default. Why? Because it's $11.99 for a liter. That's what I paid. This one is right close to $30, if not 30, 29 something for a regular bottle. I mean, and what are you gaining on it? You're not gaining anything. Lower price. Now, if there's a big difference in flavor, yeah, then you start saying, okay, it wins. But if you're tasting these and you're not even sure if you're going to get it right, cheaper one wins. And I'm not sure I'm going to get it right. I think this is the Heaven Hill in my left hand. Can't express any kind of real confidence in that. So, Heaven Hill. No, it's the Jeppsons. And I'm amazed that I confused 100 proof with an 80 proof. Now, you might say, I'm writing you off because anyone could tell 100 proof from an 80 proof. I would have said that too before this video. I would have said, oh, I mean, that's a laugh. It's going to be so apparent. But no, it's not really. Yes, if one is rough tasting, then we have to go with the smoother one. Right, but neither one of these are rough. I think that's why they don't want Heaven Hill's name on this. Like my friend David was saying yesterday. He said, yeah, they're not going to put their name on it anymore because they want people to buy the $50, $60, $70 Heaven Hills, the real fancy ones that they got in all the stores now. So they put quality house so that people are going to think it's inferior, and they pass it up and buy the $70. They don't want people paying $11.99 for a liter. But if the word gets out and people find out and they know about it, then they might say, I ain't paying, I'm not paying $70 when I'm going to get something that's maybe better than this. So it's kind of like Buffalo Trace. They got all their fancy, oh yeah, you got to wait in line in front of the store to get it. And I saw people waiting in line this week in front of the store to get this and that. Buffalo Trace allocated bourbons, very fancy. So of course they do not promote their lower end straight bourbons like Benchmark, McAfee's old number 8 Benchmark. Other ones like that. Old Charter, because people might find out about them and be like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why am I paying all this big money for this? And then like Henry McKenna, there's a regular old Heaven Hill product called Henry McKenna. It's a straight bourbon. And I've seen it for $8.99. Oh, they're not going to promote that because you might find out about it and never buy their expensive stuff. Makes sense. Quality House makes it sound like a bum bourbon. Right. It makes it sound like something you see real cheap. Like you said, a bum bourbon. Maybe they're just hoping people don't try it. Maybe the bums will drink it. But the bums are getting a great benefit of a good flavor and high quality. Interesting how labeling works. Right. It's all almost like a smoke screen. You know, it's like, oh, look at all this stuff. But don't pay attention to the mash bill because it's the same for everything. You know, don't pay attention to all of that. Just pay attention to the hype, and then you could pay us a lot of money. Hey, I don't run the companies. I know what I'm tasting. So once again, this non-entity, well, if you look at the Heaven Hill website, it's a non-entity. It does not exist. But there it is. And it's on the shelves today called Quality House. All they did was change the label, kept the same product. This non-entity may beat the great ones that they sell. Now, I don't know that because I haven't taste challenged them. You see, I can't say that because I haven't done the taste challenge. I have done it with the Blantons and the Eagle Rare. Well, I didn't do Eagle Rare taste challenge, but you know what I'm saying. I've tasted some of those really high hat Sazerac Buffalo Trace products. Are they way better than their underlings? You say so, but I'm not seeing it. But anyway, I'm not supposed to say that on the internet. You know, people get angry. But that said, I'm closing out, going to walk and watch the news. Like you said about beer, I have a buddy who used to say the Keystone was the Coors Light that got spilled on the floor. Okay, I disagree. It's just less expensive. Tastes just as good as Coors Light to me. It does. It's not the same. It's not exactly the same recipe. In fact, very similar. Certainly a much better value than Coors Light. But what do they promote? Coors Light, television, radio commercials all day long, every day. Keystone Light, they don't talk about it. They don't want people buying it. I mean, you know, they want people buying it, but they don't want people buying it versus Coors Light. They don't want to undermine their own premier products. And that's why these videos are on the internet. I make these videos for that reason, see? Okay, well, y'all take care. And do I plan to do another Heaven Hill tomorrow taste challenge? I do, actually. I do have some other mini things lined up. And I think it's going to keep winning. I really think it's going to keep winning. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye. Have a good Sunday and a good week.